Hey everyone, welcome to Stuff Moms Have Time For. My name is Rebecca and today's video is all about this cute little vampire cake. She reminds me so much of Vampirina, and as it is Halloween weekend this weekend, I wanted to make a cake that was kind of in that theme but also quite cute. So I'm going to show you guys how to make this really adorable vampire cake today. I'm going to start with making my buttercream to fill my cakes, and I pretty much do this the same every time. This is American buttercream. I am playing with the idea and the notion of changing up some of my recipe and trying some Swiss buttercream in the future. So if you're interested in a Swiss buttercream recipe, hopefully I will be getting that one out shortly. I am going to just mix my butter and sifted sugar and then add a little bit of vanilla extract as well as milk. I will put the recipe for my buttercream in the description box below. And then I'm just going to level off my cakes. I'm making this one a small cake, really just for the family. So I am making a 4-tiered 6-inch cake. I'm using my cake leveler to just level off all the tops so my cake is nice and even. And then I am going to color my buttercream into kind of like a deep purple color to go with my bat's exterior. So when you cut in the cake, the color will be the same on the outside as it is on the inside. Then with my offset spatula, I'm just going to smooth my buttercream in between each layer and stack my cake. Once I have all of my layers stacked, I am just going to give the cake a good crumb coat to lock in any loose crumbs, and then I am going to smooth out all the edges and pop that in the refrigerator just so I can do a thicker coat of buttercream after. After about 10-15 minutes in the fridge, I am going to put the exterior buttercream on a little thicker so I can make the cake as smooth as possible. Just make sure you use a healthy amount because you do want it to be a pretty nice coat of buttercream on the outside. I am going to cover this cake in fondant. You can, however, leave it as buttercream and do the vampire face directly on buttercream. Sometimes it doesn't look as finished, so just make sure that you're really smooth with your buttercream before you put any fondant decorations on the outside. I'm going to just take my offset spatula and carefully go around the top edge and make sure the cake is nice and flat. The better your buttercream looks before you put fondant on it, the better the cake will look in the end. Now you can buy fondant already in the color that you want, but because I have a huge thing of white fondant, I am just going to color my own fondant to match that purple color. I would highly recommend that you use gloves when doing this process as it can get quite messy. Then I'm just going to lay out my fondant on my mat and put some cornstarch down so it doesn't stick. And I am going to roll it out so I can cover my entire 6-inch cake. Use your rolling pin to roll the fondant over it and then just drape it directly over your cake. Then you're just going to work all the way around the edges, smoothing it down. Take your time and try to fan the fondant out, or you may have some rips. The more you practice with fondant, the better you'll get at it. It can be quite frustrating to cover cakes when you first start out, so just take your time. Then I'm going to do just a tiny strip on the bottom to make the cake look more finished. And then I am going to start working on the face details. Black is a little hard to dye in fondant, so I did purchase just a small thing of black fondant to make these face features. So I'm just going to cut out a smile, and I'm using an egg cookie cutter that I had for Easter. get creative with your fondant tools. They do sell eyelash molds if you plan on making a unicorn cake or any cake with lots of faces. You might want to invest in a silicone mold to make eyelashes, but since I did not have that, I just got creative with a cookie cutter. I used it to cut out some curves for my eyelashes as well as my mouth, and then I just did tiny little corners for the eyelash. Then I'm taking a little bit of white fondant and I'm forming it into a triangle, and I am just going to use water and a brush to adhere it to the cake. And there you have your little vampire fangs. So the last decoration I'm making for this cake that's going to be edible is the ears. I'm just going to freehand carve these out and then shape them into ears. And for the wings, I actually had bat decorations in the house, and I ended up cutting a bat in half and just popping it into the side of the cake just to give it a more three-dimensional look. You can do it in fondant, but I had wings dry for 2 days and they still did not fit in the cake well, so I feel like this looks better with the black contrast anyway, so I'm happy how it turned out. You can use paper wings, you can cut it out of plastic, whatever works best, but these were nice and light and they fit in the cake great. I hope you guys enjoyed this cake and have a happy and safe Halloween, and I will see you guys in the next video.